Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to be continuing on with the Paragon series, leaving us only 4 levels left to go, including the one that we're going to cover right now. And I will be getting the rest of these out. I'm going to try and get 2 more out tomorrow, and then we'll probably have to finish the Kang fight first part of next week. But we will have this series tied up real soon, so that everybody has the guides and are able to go ahead and use them if you need them to go ahead and get these titles, because I definitely want to help everybody continue to progress. And then we got some big things coming for the channel here soon. Let's go ahead and get into this right now so that we can get this one done and get on to bigger and better things. So right off the bat here, you are going to notice that I have a little bit of a different team than normal. We are running Angela, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Loki, Heimdall, and Hercules. Now, the whole point of this was to boost Cosmic Ghost Rider and Hercules and give them a little bit of an extra leeway on things, because we were going to run the Cosmic Fracture path, and we'll talk about that here a little bit more in just a second. But I did want to also bring in Loki to get the full advantage of Heimdall's abilities, so that we could save on a few potions and revives there for Hercules and Cosmic Ghost Rider. So let's go ahead and get into the path here, and I will talk about this a little bit more. It was a mixed bag. There was a couple things we could have definitely done differently, and a couple things that we didn't take full advantage of that we definitely should have. Right off the bat here, on the path that we are taking, like I said, is the Cosmic Fracture path. Now, Cosmic attackers, light attacks have a 50% chance of armor breaking the defender for 7 seconds. But if the light attack happened to be a crit, then it's a guaranteed armor break. Now, that is one of those things that makes it sound like, yes, Corvus would be your perfect champion, because you're going to crit every single time, and he's a Cosmic. So you're going to be armor breaking a bunch, which is a mixed bag. You also have to keep in mind, though, as well, that you are going to have tactical recycling here. Whenever the defender gets knocked down, all armor breaks are removed, and they instead gain an armor up buff. But once they get to 6 or more armor up buffs, they consume all of those and do 200% of their armor rating as direct damage to you. So that is one of those things that's a little bit touchy, because you do want to armor break them, but you don't want to take the chance of pushing too many of them on there and ending up causing yourself quite a bit of damage by knocking them down, having them consume them, get the armor up buff, and end up consuming those. Especially considering we also have iodized armor, which gives it so that whenever the defender finishes a special attack, they also gain an armor buff. They also have Powerful, which the defender is immune to any power drain, lock, or power steal abilities, so keep that in mind. And finally, they have Divine Barrier. So if you should happen to use a Mystic Champion against them, every 10 seconds they will be immune to Nullify, Fate Seal, and Stagger. So another thing to keep in mind, we primarily, like I said, stuck to the Cosmics, so that wasn't a factor to us whatsoever there. But let's go ahead and take a look at who you are going to be facing on this path. Right off the bat, you are going to have Ghost, followed by She-Hulk, Penny Parker, Emma Frost, Psycho Man, and finally Gladiator Hulk, before going over to the Boss Island. Now, on the Boss Island, your 3 potential bosses are Mangog, King Groot, and Purgatory. Now, I will show you guys the boss notes for each of those, but we did go ahead and choose King Groot as our boss that we went ahead and went through. Now, this one was a perfect opportunity, to be truthful with you, to go ahead and use Loki against him, and I didn't pay attention to that nearly as much as I should have, so we don't necessarily do that for this fight. but we are able to go ahead and get through it anyways. Let's go ahead and talk about what the nodes are that he has and why it would be so great for Loki to have been our attacker. Now, he has Apex Predator, which means every 30 seconds, all buffs on both of you will be removed, and whoever has the most buffs on them will gain a Fury and Unblockable for 10 seconds. Now, obviously, this is one of the places where Loki comes into play quite a bit, because by by stealing his buffs on a regular basis, you can guarantee that you are the one with the most buffs on you when that timer runs out. He also, as well, has Tough as Nails. Now, this is every 3 seconds. He's going to gain an Armor Up buff, meaning he's going to be stacking those buffs up. So, you're going to have to either have a champion that stacks up a lot of buffs as well, or you're going to have somebody that is able to remove or nullify his buffs or again steal his buffs to guarantee that you are the one with the most buffs on you. Also, he has power buildup. Anytime that he reaches 2 bars of power, he will gain a prowess, increasing his special attack. This is going to be one of those things that you're going to want to try and bait out the special, but unfortunately he also has special 2 bias, so it is going to be harder to bait out that special 1. But again, if you can possibly power lock him or power drain him, you can avoid worrying about that too much. Lastly, he does have Supercharge, which does make it so that every 15 seconds he is going to be gaining a power up buff. So it is going to be very hard to keep him under that SP2. But again, proper counters and you can deal with this. Just keep in mind that every 30 seconds all buffs are going to be removed off of both of you. So do what you can to either make sure that you have more buffs than him or that you're stealing as many buffs from him as possible. That being said, let's go ahead and get in here and see how it went for us. Now, right off the bat here, normally I talk about often I avoid Hercules for too many of these walkthroughs just because he is just kind of the golden ticket. But at the same time, if we were going to go ahead and do a cosmic based path, obviously I'm going to bring in my best cosmic champions, which at the current moment, at the time of recording this, were Hercules and Cosmic Ghost Rider. So just kind of had to go with the man this time. As you can see here, we did have a great fight here against Ghost. We are avoiding taking too much damage from her. We're able to get up to a 56 combo and almost had her down before we took even the first hit. But at the same time, taking that one hit did give us another charge for Hercules. So that benefits us for later matches. Then we went ahead and came over here to the She-Hulk fight. Wanted to go ahead and bring in Cosmic Ghost Rider for this one. That way we weren't just going to go ahead and cheese the whole thing with Hercules. As much so as I know that that is possible, we do want to make sure that we aren't just indicating that the only way you're going to get through this is with Hercules. There are some amazing cosmic champions out there. The cosmic class is obviously the most stacked class for god tier champions, so your ability to do this, especially at this point in time, is so much easier than it could be in any other part. Just do be careful how many of those armor breaks that you're putting onto them, and especially if you're going to be knocking them down. Also watch very closely how many armor up buffs that your opponent gets, because that can cost you greatly as well. So as you can see here, we went ahead and brought Cosmic Ghost Rider again in against Penny Parker. This is a little bit more of a fight. Obviously we all know that she has some killer defense and that shield can be a pain to deal with, especially considering it often is going to cost you power if you screw up and hit into it. Obviously you could see there where the Heimdall and Loki synergy were benefiting us a bit more to kind of buy us a little extra time with Cosmic Ghost Rider there. but still did end up messing up on this fight and having to go ahead and resort back to Hercules to finish it off. Obviously, like I said, guys, there are a ton of great cosmic champions out there right now. So don't feel like you have to have Hercules to do this. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Captain Marvel movie, Adam Warlock, Null. The list goes on and on for possible champions that you can do this with if you want to do this path and not rely on Hercules, especially if you don't happen to have a 5 or 6 star Hercules powered up and ready to go for this. Now, of course, the Emma Frost fight here can be a bit of a pain. This is the only time that I may have thought about doing something different, just because obviously Hercules nor Cosmic Ghost Rider are inverted control immune, so that can be a detriment to either one of them. As you saw, it did end up costing us Hercules there, but we were able to go ahead and bring in Cosmic Ghost Rider to finish off the fight. So, I mean, sometimes it is one of those things where Hercules is not always the perfect answer. Do keep that in mind, guys. I know he is considered the golden ticket for the game, even with Danny Moonstar being out now, who has the ability to shut him down a lot more than any other champion. But, you know, this gave us a great opportunity to have Cosmic Ghost Rider powered up, fully healthy, and ready to go against Psycho Man here. And you can see we are going ahead and dealing quite a bit of damage to him, but unfortunately making a few mistakes here and taking quite a bit of damage and then screwing up and catching that SP3. But luckily enough, with the Heimdall Loki synergy there, we were able to go ahead and not only survive the SP3, but able to gain a little bit of our health back and do some more damage. So we didn't finish off Psycho Man there in a one shot like I would have preferred to, but if we were going to have to revive anyways, bringing Hercules back in is not a problem to do. So we are going to go ahead and make our way through him fairly quickly here. It's not going to be perfect by any means, but we are getting him down to that last little bit. Again, the SP3, but we're able to more than survive that and get over to Gladiator Hulk here. We did just pick up our 12th feat there, so that does set Hercules up for a better position going forward. Obviously, at this particular point, we only have the King Groot fight left after Gladiator Hulk here, but we are going to go ahead and finish off Gladiator Hulk without having to revive whatsoever, which does make a nice little thing there so that we don't have to be using up all of our resources necessarily, which set us up better for the next couple levels going forward, having a few extra resources that we didn't use up. Now, obviously, we did go over here to the King Groot fight. I did go ahead and swap out Angela for Tigra here. Honestly, I should have focused more on the idea of Loki. May have even considered bringing in my 5-star over my 6-star because he is Sig 200, and I do believe with the power gain I could have done more on keeping the buff steal going there. But obviously my biggest problem here is I kept hitting into the block and letting him catch me on the specials. Something I'm normally not prone to do when it comes to King Groot, because I do fight him on a fairly regular basis on the backup account, and I'm normally fairly good at countering him. And I'm normally really good at countering him with Loki, but just honestly played a little badly there on that one. I do have so much more power gain on the 5-star that I'm not sure if that's what was throwing me off or if it was just being a little off at the moment. But we did go ahead and try and bring Tigra in, and we would have been fine if we hadn't caught that SP2. The biggest problem with Tigra and his SP2 is that first initial ground pound. If you can dex that and then get directly into the heavy, you won't take any of that poison there, so you won't have to worry about it nearly as much. You can see here we're going ahead and taking care of quite a bit with Hercules. Already got him down to 34%, but pushed him up into that SP3, which did cost us the end of the match there, and did mean I had to revive one more time to go ahead and come in here and finish him off. Could have probably retried it with Tigra or Loki, but obviously we had done the most amount of damage with Hercules here, so I went ahead and let him finish off the fight here, and there you go, guys. That is 7.4.3 in the books. 3 levels left to go to earn that Paragon title. Obviously, we were able to do it, and I know everybody in the community is able to too. Just got to make sure that you're building up your roster. You're making sure that you have those potions and revives and units on standby so that you have the fallback when you need to. And always remember, guys, if you get most of the way through the path, you get to the boss node, and you run out of supplies, go farm up some supplies and come back in. Don't just wipe it out and walk away. You've already made it that far, might as well go ahead and finish it off, unless you start going through massive amounts of revives. And then you might just need to be looking at a better counter and seeing how well you can get through the path without revives. That way you don't have to use them up for or before you get to the boss fight there. Again, there are 2 other bosses. We included those nodes in the beginning of the video, so do take a chance to look at those if you're having a problem with King Groot. The other 2 can be an option as well. But that's another one in the books, guys, and we are that much closer to earning that Paragon title. As you guys know, I did do that before the 4th of July, so we did get the 4th of July deals. Make sure you guys hop over and check out the video. The tournament did come to a conclusion today, and I do want to thank E-Rays for being part of it, as well as Dimensional Dreaming and everybody else who were were part of the tournament. Dimensional Dreaming did stream the finals on his channel in his stream today, so feel free to jump over and check out that. I'll link that in the description. Also, on top of that, please go ahead and jump over and give our tournament winner E-Rays a subscribe. He is growing his channel slowly, but we are trying to get him up to his 50 subscribers so that he can start streaming and being a bigger part of our community. And the man definitely deserves it. Give him a congratulations and a sub, and I appreciate that. If you guys haven't already hit the like button or subscribe to the channel, make sure you do that, and I will see you guys back for the next one. Peace out.